Are you ready? What?
I got something to say.
Man, I'm all messed up. Sorry. Hey, everybody.
I'm all messed up again.
I'm surprised you're here. Well, you have a nice Ford truck and not a Prius like me.
I don't know how your Prius is going to get to work.
I don't have a Prius.
I don't know how. I mean, after you unplug it,
I don't have a Prius.
and then you shovel.
I don't have a Prius.
I don't know how you're going to.
Not there's anything wrong with that.
The only backup you have is your Schwinn. So I don't know how you're going to get out tomorrow. It's just a little.
We got some snow here in Baltimore, but that's not stopping us.
In the truck.
No, you're here, man.
Assistance.
Great. It's great. We're celebrating
Happy
tonight.
Tuesday. Happy old line rum day, rum guns. So super excited about
I feel like
this.
we should be playing Blaze of Glory right now.
I feel like we could do that in a minute.
Yeah.
Don't play it yet.
I'm not. Just going to tee it up. Just going to tee it up.
You don't need to tee it up. I got something for you already. Don't
you
wear
do?
your pretty striped head. I've always got something for you. You know that.
All right, guys. Rum Guns has dropped. Here it is. Is this it? Yeah, this is it.
That's it. That is it. And there are a few left. Not many.
No.
It's sold incredibly well for.
Hold on. I gotta give that applause.
Yeah.
I mean that's pretty good.
There's a few left. Before we get into that.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. Here's my son.
Hello, everybody.
By the way, my son, he just got almost 4,000 subscribers. He's this close to being monetized on the gaming channel.
Well,
guys, go sub to Lumiere.
Hey, check this out.
I make appearances on it.
Kiddo.
Yeah. I think that's
how about that, buddy?
7 years to get to 10,000.
7 years. Ben, don't worry, you'll be there in like 7 months. Or it took us 7 years.
Took us 7 years.
But we made it 10,000. That is a quite an accomplishment for us. We did not expect that.
I love it. I love it. Thank you, guys. What's it? What do you say?
Still the label. It's funny that he says that because I'll pull that up in a minute.
Wait, hold on. That's not Yellowstone, or is it?
No, on the label, the Rum Guns label.
Yeah, no, but that's from. Did you take that character Rip? I thought that was
but I had was my Rip outfit from Halloween. That's what I used. That's why I had the cowboy hat on. So yeah, so that was kind of fun. So yeah, so we are excited. We're excited about that.
I'll wait.
Why don't? Do you want to open that?
I will once we have our guest on.
We have a guest?
I think so.
Oh,
I thought so.
All right. Well, maybe we should bring him up too. Hold on. He has something for him. You ready?
Yeah.
All right. Here we
go.
Do it. Let's do something for him as well.
That's great.
How about that? Look at our guest of honor, Mark McLaughlin from Old Line. What's up, man? How are you?
What are you guys doing here?
Yeah,
I don't know. We're going to be drinking some rum. Yeah, super excited. I think we've got a few left. So if you're, haven't gotten it, get it before it's gone. We're really proud that our whiskey community, and listen, let's be honest, some of our locals and people who have come to Old Line have tried your amazing rum, but they might be taking a chance, right? I know when I first saw that you guys were having a rum at the Bottle Your Own at our event we did back last June, I was like, I'm not a rum guy. I'm not drink. I love these guys, but I'm not a rum. They're like, no, you got to try it. And it was life-changing. It really was.
Todd never does things until he's pulled in. He did this with bourbon. And then he look what happens. So next thing you know, he's going to be a rum aficionado.
No, I don't. Here's why. I think the reason why I love, and listen, I'll drink drinks with rums in it, but this is like straight rum. This drinks like a whiskey to me. Right. If you put this in, and we've done it before in blinds.
The case one, it came off as like a high whiskey. This is different though, because this is
a light whiskey or American whiskey.
This is different than almost anything I've had before.
Well, then I tried beautiful.
This. Yeah.
Mark, how are you? I'm sorry, we're going on
tangents. Yeah.
Yeah. How are you, buddy?
I'm good. How are you guys?
We're good.
We're good. We're excited about this release. We can't wait for people to get it. I think it will show very well those that have never had your rum how great it is. And I know a couple other groups, I think Big Vic and Dusty Dan, they've all, Drifting Drams, have picked another barrel that'll be going out soon. I just love that people are kind of open to trying this stuff. And, it's great. So well done.
No, thank you so much. And no, probably you guys picked a good one. I mean, we've not done anything like this before as far as, flavor profile. This port barrel just is kind of one of a kind. So
got to thank Andy because I think it was by chance. We didn't get a full. This is a half barrel, so to speak, right? This is, your yields on most of these are what 200 and some, 250, right?
The rum's yield kind of high. Their finishing barrels have been topped off. So yes, exactly.
And I think Andy, this is credit. Oh my God, that's so good. I can't wait. You tried this, right? You
tried it.
You stopped by to see you guys.
That clip when you were seeing, I think it was right before Gunman Arch and right after Gunman Mark. You saw the whiskey being dumped straight out of the barrel, and I'm sitting there with Mark and Jared that day, and Jerry was there working outside in the Rick house, and they hand me a glass. You want to try it? Yes, I do. And as soon as I taste it, I was like, can I get that one? Because that is absolutely outstanding. It's like nothing I've had before. So
look at the color in this.
Absolutely beautiful. Just wonderful.
Look at this. This is a rum, and it's 131.2 proof. All right.
And Groovy, thank you.
Yeah, Groovy, thank you
very much, man. I appreciate that, buddy. That's very by the way, they've got a movie coming.
They do have a movie. All right,
they're working
let's not get sidetracked.
I'm not getting sidetracked, but I want to say thank you. And
yes.
Let me play this for them real quick, just because I love it.
Yeah. Groovy. Groovy, baby.
Old days. There you go.
I had to do it.
Before we get into this pick, and again, there are still a few left. If you're a Patreon, go there. It's still in Patreon. So we're going to keep it there because we think we can sell this out to our patrons. Mark, tell us about, we know, I don't know. I think people who are watching the stream know who you are. There's BT. I'm more interested in, yes, you produce, I think, the best American single malt in the country. And, we were honored to have such a great single barrel pick and sold that out. And then we tried this rum. And where did the rum come from for Old Line? Like, how did that create? What was the impetus of that? The rum here.
So it was interesting. So we got into the business, as you guys know, and many of you guys watching may know this. And we took over a very small distillery in the West Coast. And what was great about that was that it gave us a starting point as far as inventory. We had some of their single malt barrels that we took over the business we could sell. So we had a little bit of a head start on the challenge that every distillery faces on, hey, I open up and I want to make whiskey or something else aged, and I have to age it, right? So we had something in kind of in the chamber, but it wasn't enough. And we were looking at, what else we might do. And, we looked at doing vodka, which we eventually did, but at the time, for several reasons, we didn't want to. We looked at gin, which for a couple of reasons wasn't really what we were looking to do. And one of our board members, a guy named Richard Wolf, who since passed away, is a wonderful guy. He was a wonderful guy. And he suggested that we look into the world of kind of really high-end barrel-aged rums. And he had two friends of his, husband and wife, named Luis and Margaret Ayala. And their business is built around helping small distilleries like us import their own blend of rum, primarily from the Caribbean. So they do all barrel-aged, higher end rums. They have relationships all around the Caribbean. Stocks of rum. So that allowed us to do a couple of things. It allowed us to fulfill a really important business role, which was to, get something that we could, order it, get it now, sell it, keep the lights on, keep the still running, all those sorts of things. But it let us do it on our terms. That we wanted to put out something that was barrel-aged. So we have our own proprietary blend. We developed it over about a year or so with Margaret. And that's our blend. They won't make that blend for anybody.
So that
else.
Is your own. You can only get that blend of rum at Old Line. That is your proprietary.
Correct. Blend. Yeah. Luis and Margaret won't blend to that profile for anybody else. And somebody could try to copy it, of course, but that's not going to happen. So it's ours. So we get it, and they are just wonderful partners. Two of the finest people I've ever met in this industry. BT, you're in that group too. You know that. And then we just have a great working relationship. And so for the most of the life of Case One rum, which used to be called Old Line Aged Caribbean rum, we take that blend and put it right in the bottle, which we still do. Yeah. And for small portions of it, we'll put it into finishing barrels, like you guys have seen.
Well, I love it.
Well, the other thing,
that's one of the reasons why I think people went crazy when we had that event at Old Line with Corbin Cash. I think people.
Had you ever tried their rum before?
Actually, that's not true. I tried it once before at Fish Paws because they had a bunch of their single barrels lined up, and I was like, Old Line finished in rum. I was like, well, that sounds good. So I, of course, thought it was an American single malt finished in rum. And I had a sip. I was like, wow, that's sweet. That's almost sweet enough that it could be a rum, but God, that's delicious. And like, well, that's just a rum.
Because it is a rum.
I was like, oh, well, that makes sense. But I was like, but I like it. I like it a lot. That's really good. And I didn't try it again until the event. And I was just like, okay, if it's all like this, I'm completely sold. So when this came about, sign me up, Doc.
So then you talked about there's a few of these, again, I don't know. I don't want to ask you what percentage, but that are in finished barrels. So your Case One rum, the great thing about that is it's finished in, first of all, the rum is in ex-bourbon barrels, right? So that, I think, lends it to get that. That's where you get a lot of that sort of, I think, American whiskey, light whiskey flavoring, because it's ex-bourbon barrels, just like light whiskey or American whiskey. And then you also for a time of period, you put it in your American single malt barrels, right? So they do finish in that, right?
Well, no, only some of it. Some of it.
Only some of it.
Okay. Yeah, a lot of it. The stuff that you see on like most store shelves will have been aged, to your point, in ex-bourbon barrels for a minimum of 7 years, up to 11 years. And then, for anything, only a small amount goes into finishing, whether it's single malt.
Oh,
yeah, exactly. So the regular Case One rum is bourbon barrel only, actually.
Well, that's probably okay. So that's why it tastes like to me an American whiskey or like that sort of ex-bourbon barrel, which I love.
Absolutely, yeah.
What we tried at that event in last June when we picked our American single malt, from you guys, was finished in Americans. Your barrels, right? Wasn't that correct? Finished American single malt barrels? Okay.
Yes, that was absolutely, which is one of my favorite things we do.
And it is fantastic.
It's great, and you kind of hit the nail on the head. I think both of you guys did. With what we wanted to do with this, our flavor profile that we went with. I don't know if we knew this from the get-go. I don't know if we set out and said we want to make a whiskey drinker's rum, but as we got to the end result of what we wanted to put in the bottle, it's exactly what it is. So that's exactly how we describe it. Is we want a whiskey drinker to often we find people who don't think they like rum, don't even want to taste it. And they take a little taste or a little smell, and they're just converted and say, wow, I didn't know a rum could be like this. And it's wonderful because rum can be amazing.
Awesome.
That was me. And I'll tell you, my wife, who likes rum and does not like whiskey, all right? So I can't get her to drink any whiskey. She's just like, no, I don't love it. I came home. I was so excited from our event. I said, Tina, I've got a rum. You're going to love it. I love it. It's so good. It's so sweet. It, to me, tastes more like an American whiskey, but that's okay. It's sweet. I think you're going to love it. She took one sip of it. She's like, that's a whiskey. What are you talking about? And she didn't like it, of course, because it tastes more like an American whiskey or light whiskey. But that's to your point. I think it is. But, for us who drink whiskey, yeah, you can tell there's something different and unique about this, that it is sweet, but it does have those characteristics that you look for in a whiskey, the long finish, sort of the yellow cake a lot. I think it's from the ex-bourbon barrels. But then you put it in tawny port barrels and immediately changed and blew my mind, because I was like, oh my God, this took that and took it to another degree, another layer of flavor. And I get, for all you are out there, you'll make your own. I get, and I'm telling Andy this, I get like a lot of strawberry shortcake on this thing. It's for me, that's sort of dark berry and cream, and yellow kick that I get in the Case One rum is still there, but then you get the strawberry, the berry influence, that decadence of the port barrel. I think adds that layer to me, and I love that strawberry shortcake. To me, that's what I get. So there you go. Andy, what do you get? I'm just saying, that's what I get. That's what I get.
How do you follow that?
I don't know. Real quick.
and then, hey, Andy, what do you get? Real quick, guys. Go ahead, Ty. Keep going.
No, bourbon, Whiskey Uncensored. Thank you for following this. It looks like there's 10 left on Big Thirst. So we're getting close there. We probably have about 15 left. 15 around there. Let's see. So let's keep going, guys. If you're a Patreon member, go grab this. $45, 131 proof. It's amazing. I mean, let's sell this thing out over 100. I'd love to do that.
Yes, you would. Yeah. He's an excited fellow.
Well, it's good. I want everybody to get it. Anyway,
go ahead, Mark.
We've been something similar that we've done. A lot of times people ask with our whiskey barrel finishing, kind of how we picked which barrels we wanted to use for finishing, and how that program developed. And a big part of that was good. We're learning as we go on a lot of this stuff, right? So when we looked at whiskey finishing, we said, hey, we're going to try some of the obvious ones like sherry and a few others, and we'll open up the aperture, see what takes, see what doesn't, see what works, see what doesn't work as well, and then narrow it down and keep the winners, right? So we're earlier in that process with the rum than we were with the whiskey. So rum is still kind of wide open as far as what we think are going to be the longer standing finishes, and it remains TBD. One of the cool things is that, I mean, you guys have seen it, I'm sure, but with any finishing barrel, whether it's whiskey or rum, when you put it in that finishing barrel, the first 60, 90 days, you get a lot of flavor, but it really often is not really any indication of where it's going to be in a year or so after things have kind of settled. And this forecast just settled out real nicely. We had another one, a sherry finish rum that we just sold to the Baltimore County Police Department. Actually, it was really
that's cool. Great.
Yeah, they're an awesome group of guys, and I didn't like that barrel a bit. It tasted like a Jolly Rancher. And,
you love that.
And then I loved it. We pulled it like 2 weeks ago, and I was expecting not to like it, and I loved it. And it's just amazing how just that flavor settle and develop. And
well, Mark, can I give a little sneak?
Do it. I knew where you're going.
That we did today.
Yes, I'm glad you're talking about this.
Yes.
So
do you have a picture?
I do. I can get ready to pull that up. Oh, actually, I think the picture was. Did I post it or not? Maybe I didn't.
I don't know.
But no, Mark says, "Hey, you want to try something?" I said, "Yes, I do." And so we gotta visit the barrel that held the beautiful malt through the night, our first American single malt release that we did with them, which has now since been filled with rum. Yeah, so it is resting comfortably there in the. There's the final bottle. Yep. So there we go. So what produced this puppy right here? The malt through the night, which is a fantastic pick.
Oh. I think it might be my favorite we've done.
Now we're going to have a rum finished in that, which I can't wait to see how that's going to be. So we tried it today, and it was funny because we both sipped on it and said the nose is already just.
How long has it been in that, Mark? How long has that been filled? It's not been only a couple months, right?
It's like 3 months or something. It's not
3 months.
Yeah.
But we knew the palate wasn't ready to match it yet. We knew it needed more time to sit there and develop and kind of take on some of the nuances of the barrel. And so we knew that it was tasty. Let's be honest, it was really good, but it wasn't there yet. So we can't wait to see what some more time in this.
That's a great question.
So we get to keep going back and trying. So every couple months, hey, let's go in and have a pour. Let's see how it's doing. And
does that mean we have free reign to drink that anytime we go in there? I'd like to try our barrel. It's for market research purposes.
I mean, you guys kind of
I'm able to do that. Excuse me.
I'm tasting every time I go in there. You got to go in there more often.
I'd like to try our barrel to see if it's ready. Oh, it's not ready. I'll come back next week.
It's dangerously accessible. It's like a really easy spot to get to. So yeah, you guys. You're lucky.
Don't tell me.
Yeah,
that's a good question. That's a question I have. Is Mark? how do you determine when a rum? I mean, you just taste it, right? I mean, you just this port finish we have is 3+ years. So, when do you know when too much is too much? Or you just keep trying it. I guess you keep going through and sampling barrels, just like a finished whiskey, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I'd say that the answer is sometimes operationally driven as much as it is end product driven. So we're not going to empty anything from the barrel unless we feel it's ready to go and going to be perfect for the use that we're trying to use it for. But we're also limited by certain operational factors, like how much stainless steel we have. There's only so much stainless around, and we get to temporarily store things. You empty barrels, stainless, you bottle, things like that. So, and also, we always want no demand for certain things. Some things sell really quickly. Some things, take a little more time for people to kind of get onto them. So all that is to say that some, being in the barrel for 3 years isn't always like what we set out to do.
Right.
And so we would have emptied this barrel sooner. And there's periods of time where probably this barrel wouldn't have been as good as it is now, right? Whether it was, a year or two in, it maybe wasn't as developed yet. So each barrel is different. Some things we've had at like 3 or 4 months that were great.
Really?
Very few, though. I mean, not that they weren't really good, but like most things that we have emptied and sold have been finishing at least a year. So we finish on the longer side. And I don't think we've had any issues, in my opinion, on overdoing it. And it's a little bit different than primary aging. It obviously takes a much, much longer period of time. And then you can over oak, theoretically. Right. Well, not theoretically. In practice, you can over oak. With a finishing barrel, it's almost like think of like a logarithmic curve. That little science for you, where it kind of just like it drops off.
Do you know what that is?
I know you don't.
Yeah.
Answer the question. Do you know what that is?
Yes.
What is it?
Just keep going.
I don't know what it is.
So one of those curves, it drops really fast. It
drops
off. Yeah.
Yes.
And so I think a lot of just the wine flavor or the flavor of what was in the barrel first comes out really quickly, but there's a really long tail, and that tail, you're not really going to like over grape it or over whatever.
Right.
I think that long tail is just really just oxidation taking its time. So I think in my opinion, it's kind of hard to overdo a finishing barrel from like the perspective of, unless you leave too much wine in there. That's really one way I think you would overdo.
Got it. That's amazing.
Well, again, absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, Mark,
I loved it.
Corey says, Mark, saw your website. The newest single barrel release sold out. That was your founder's release. Understand why after having so that was another high-aged American single malt, correct? That was 8+ years.
That was an 8+ year old. Yeah.
It's like a sister barrel.
Hey,
it was
thanks for remembering to get us a bottle of that, Mark.
He gave us a full barrel for our patrons, by the way, which was almost like a sister barrel of that, I assume. Well, you don't have too many 8+ barrels.
I'm just saying. I'm not going to hold a grudge, but I might.
I'm just saying.
Okay. So
Frank might have done a comparison and said they're equally as amazing. Frank in the chat, he said they both.
Good old Frank.
They were very similar, but they had differences. All good, and they both were amazing.
I'm going to have you stop talking for 2 seconds.
Good.
You can do it. All right. Because first of all, Marty, I don't know if you've met Marty from Whiskey Nose. He's a beautiful, sexy man, Mark. You would like him. Thank you, Marty. You're in the running for some old line tonight, because for those of you who have been talking about the excitement over Old Line's catalog, their portfolio, all the things, the attention, the recognition, well deserved. Well, I was there today. I decided, hey, how about we not only see if we can grab some bottles or generously autographed by the men themselves. Look at that. So you can walk out of here tonight. So every $5 super chat, you can walk home with an autographed bottle of this gorgeous Old Line single malt.
This is their 2025 release.
The 24 was the one that Fred Minnick was
that we had in our top 5 before.
We
Fred
sure
Minnick.
did before he did it.
By the way, for our finished whiskeys.
So just saying, you can
Mark,
take home.
We had it before him in our top 5.
We already knew. We already knew, Freddie.
Fred's going to start shaking his head too.
Not just that, but if you aren't sure about rum, you're like, hey, there's 10 left, but I'm not sure if I'm ready to dive in quite yet. Well, you can try.
Can we do
super
2 giveaways? Or
yeah, we're going to do 2. One, so you can pick between the 2. Someone's going to walk away with an autographed bottle of the Case 1 rum from both the boys, Mark and Art.
Beautiful.
The other person will walk out of here
114 proof, baby,
with their Old Line sherry. So those are what your super chats are going to tonight. Also, it is Valentine's Day. So if you'd like to make a request or say Valentine's greetings to Todd, please do. Your nicest Valentine's Day greetings to
There's
Todd.
Big
We'd like
Vic.
to hear that too.
Big Vic has got a single barrel of this rum coming, I think, right? Isn't that true, Mark? Very soon?
Absolutely, yeah. We're actually going to send Vic the link here, I think, like tomorrow. So,
man, there you go.
When he's ready.
Let's sell ours first and then go get his.
So autographed, yep,
It
there
is
we
a
go.
real small yield, unfortunately. It was a
Oh,
great,
no.
small yield, yeah, small barrel.
How does that happen?
It was a 30-gallon barrel, which have been great finishing barrels.
Right.
It just had some. It was 3 years in there, a time in there, and I'm sure I dipped into it once or twice.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure. All right, very good.
This
is so good.
By the way, so back to the rum itself with the few that are left.
God,
I am very partial to all Portuguese liquor. I'm married to a Portuguese gal. I've been to Portugal a couple times. I like port wine a lot. This is finished in the Tawny Port barrels. 3 years.
God,
Tawny Port, Ruby Port are a little bit different. Ruby Port tends to be a little bit younger, a little bit fruitier. This is a little bit more
we like
refined.
Tawny Catan. We like Tawny Port.
Catan's not exactly. She's older, but not refined. I digress.
Look at all these super chats. Jeez, I gotta go ahead.
Yeah, look at that. No, this is wonderful. So yeah, you guys are going to be in for that. But
yes, autographed.
I think the Tawny Port, because it's not overly fruit forward like the Ruby.
Big bag.
I think it. Oh, you talk.
Sorry, good. I'm just highlighting super chats.
Mark, I should have come over to Old Line tonight. So
thank you.
What the hell was I talking about?
I don't know.
God, man, Jesus.
You're from Portugal, Tawny.
I'm not from Portugal.
No, your wife is
Tawny Catan, and you're killing me here.
Tawny Catan. The difference between
it doesn't
Tawny
matter
Port
anymore. Now George is getting angry. I need you to stop talking.
You just keep drinking.
Go get me a pizza.
Order a pizza, Jordan, will you? Corvette Trey, thank you. Frank is the best. We met Frank at our Old Line event. Maybe we can do that again this year, Mark. I'd love to have some distilleries come in. We had David. David even said he would love to come back.
Oh, look at that! Oh,
yeah,
5210.
Oh,
that's
nice,
awesome.
But he met us at that event where he knew who we were, didn't know who Corbin Cash was. Tried our single barrel pick that we were getting ready to release, and he's now a full-fledged member of our group, and we love Frank, and he loves you guys. So Frank's in the house. Frank is the man. There he is. Old Line. It's a happy accident that I've ever had since. Looking forward to the next big thing. Yeah, there you go. You're in on it, man.
You're like a happy accident.
Am I? Shut up, Andy. Thank you, LP, for the gift of 10 memberships. That's awesome. And then Tim Erickson. Cheers, guys. Well done on the pick. It's a great one. Agreed. Can't wait for you guys all to get it.
Yeah, no, this is going to be great. And yeah, it is nice to
Corey.
have the Herbie Hancocks.
Well, let's talk about the new sherry. Should we drink some of the old sherry or this is available right now on Big Thirst, right?
Sing Steve Perry now, don't you?
Yeah, I know a bunch of our Patreon members mentioned to me today that they added on when they were getting the rum, the sherry that's just dropped. Let's talk about this a little bit. It just released, correct?
It just released a week ago.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, a little less than a week ago, and it's we're thrilled. It's our longest standing finish. Oloroso sherry is what we started with. Our first finishing. I think the first one we released was in 2018, maybe. And we've learned a lot since then. They've all been great. They've all just it's been a little bit of an evolution, and everything we've done has been Oloroso, with the exception of the PX from last year. I love the PX as well. They're just slightly different. This is a little more nutty. A little less. It's still fruity, but a little less fruit forward. This one almost tastes like holiday fruitcake.
You'd love this. I had to say when I was there.
It's good.
Yeah.
Don't worry. I'm going to get myself
molasses. Brandy cherries. It's fantastic. So yeah. Sorry, Todd. I should have sent you with an open one.
Well, sorry. And in your defense, remember when you said you want to bring some back for Todd? You did say that.
I did say that. Yeah.
And I said, I'm running out of time. And yes. So he did offer, which was
I'm sure Mark did.
Yeah.
I'm sure he did.
And then Andy downed the rest of it.
Exactly. I saw the pictures. Now, my work, I was supposed to come because of the snow.
I don't do that, though. I don't think you really show up at Old Line that much there, Todd.
Yep.
I
like it.
I will be picking up everyone's orders. I guarantee you that.
I did last time.
No, you did. I went and picked up all the orders to send out. I'll be there.
You do go to UPS.
Mark, I will be there this week to pick up our orders.
I can't wait to see you, man. You're always welcome. You know that.
I'd love to try that rum that we're finishing in there. I'd love to do that if
if I can
Thursday
find
or Friday.
Yeah, absolutely.
You guys found it pretty easy today. I know that.
Yeah,
it's real quick. It's
pretty
easy today.
We'll pop that bad boy open. It's
there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Well, that's awesome. What else do we have from that we have you on here? I mean, we're celebrating our pick, guys. There's I don't know, Ben. Are you still monitoring Big Thirst? How many are left?
7, I think Ben said the last time.
7
left on Big Thirst.
Get out of here!
Fantastic.
Come on, let's sell that out.
Let's get that puppy out off on the books.
What do we have next? Coming, like what is 2025 for Old Line going to bring us this year? Anything exciting we could talk about?
Yeah. So a couple of things here. One that we released last year for the first time. This is year 2. Is the 51 Rye whiskey? Do you guys remember that?
Oh, that was
yes.
And for those who aren't familiar, we're really close with our neighbor brewery, Monument City, to make a great 51 Rye beer. For those of you who aren't East Coast, you might not know it, but it's basically a beer that was inspired by the Maryland tradition of rye making for whiskey. So it's 51% rye, 49% malted barley, and it's an IPA. It's a great beer. And as a happy accident, I won't say an accident, as it turned out, when COVID hit, they had a bunch of beer that was in the making that they didn't know what to do with. Right, the demand went to zero temporarily when no one knew what was going on. So we ended up distilling some of that into sanitizer. Realized that wasn't really an economical way to do it. But on the way out, we tasted some of it as we went through, and it's got hops in it, so it's kind of offensive when you distill hops. But there was something behind that we're like, there's something kind of to this. So we ended up making a project of it and actually taking their wort without hops and fermenting it and distilling it into this really nice high malt rye whiskey that we released for the first time last year. It was like 200 bottles. That was it. We'll only have about 200 this year. It'll start to get a little bit bigger starting next year. So releasing that at the same time to release a stout finish, actually, which is our second time doing that.
God, I'm all on that.
That's awesome. The chocolate volcano stout.
Oh, come on now.
Yeah. And actually, the cool thing there is that Jerry, our distiller, his first job after college, or maybe it was one of his first jobs, was as the first brewer at what used to be Clipper City Brewing, which is now Heavy Seas.
Heavy Seas.
Right.
So he was employee number 2 there. So it's kind of full circle. Awesome. We're using that, their volcano stout.
Yes.
It's lovely. It's a chocolate, forward.
So is that a limited? Like, how many barrels of that do you have?
Oh yeah, I think it's 1 barrel for this one. So it'll be 200 bottles, maybe something like that.
Oh God, good luck with getting that, guys.
That'll be released. I should know the date at the top of my head, but I think it's March 8th.
That'll be distillery only, right? That's not going to big. You can't
those,
get them
a few bottles for each of those actually. Even though we could definitely sell it all at the distillery, especially for the rye. We want to put some things out on Big Thirst because not all of our fans are local. So,
okay.
We don't know how much we can do, but we'll definitely put a couple of cases on there so we can.
I think you might need a little help with that. So if you would like to send us a bottle that we can do a promo video for that.
Hold on.
We'll be glad to that thing's gonna fly.
What about the rye though? Hold on. So the rye 51, I know it was sort of off of a whim, and you guys did it. It was very well received. Mm-hmm. You had to start laying down, new rye. I mean, so you have something coming out this year though? It's coming out.
So it is. So we started it. I guess for about 4 years ago. I guess what year is it? 2020. Yeah, it's about 4 years ago. It was when we started doing it. So and it's all going into 30-gallon barrels. A lot of the projects we do in the distillery, we found that we love the 30-gallon barrel profile for a lot of stuff we do. And it gets a little bit of extra edge on the aging profile time. Mm-hmm. So it's in a 30-gallon barrel. Last year, so we had only four 30-gallon barrels, so a very small amount from the first push. We emptied 2 of them last year at a little over 3 years old. And then this year, or maybe I have that wrong. Maybe it was 2.5. This year will be 3.5. But it's the first tranche, if you will. Just the 2 barrels at
just a year older. Just a year older.
And then next year we'll have not a lot, but a couple more. So we'll be able to expand it a little bit next year.
The obvious question is: are you guys putting out more Rye 51 juice? Like, are you guys distilling now more? Is this because you see it, or no? How's that working?
Yeah, we still are. It's still in the operational plan. We haven't done it in a little while. We'll go through pushes where we'll do, we'll focus on certain things, and that certainly is in there. Now, is the goal to make that an always available thing? I mean, someday possibly, but we still have our eye on the ball for the malt. But it's something that we're going to do more and more of each year, but not by leaps and bounds. But it is something that we love, and it just really. Will
you ever do it? Will Old Line ever do a bourbon?
Every year we talk about it, and for years we've thought about doing it. We came real close once or twice to distilling bourbon, and for a lot of reasons we didn't. And we absolutely love bourbon, so it's not like it's not a factor or a matter of that. It's just that I think we might have said it before with you guys, like there's only so many things that we feel we can do at a high level. And, each time we take a step in a different direction, it's fun and exciting, but it's also like, we don't want to go so far that we dry off the ball on what we really do. So bourbon is something that we've thought about a couple of ways of doing it, distilling it here. We thought about buying and doing a blend and kind of flexing our blending muscles. And we still might do that at some point, but no immediate plans. There's no bourbon in the building right now. There's one exception that I can't talk about right now. Not to tease it, but I'll tease it.
There you go. There it is. See, we got it out of him.
Yeah, that's right.
Got it. Someone out of him.
Question:
I'm horrible under torture.
Yeah. What is it?
Are you open to signing bottles that are bought in person?
Absolutely. As long as you don't mind a lefty signing it, then you got it.
Yeah, I didn't realize today that Mark's a lefty. So so when he's signing, he's got to be careful because if he goes too far, he can smudge his signature.
So that's why my last name looks just like trails off consistently as far as my fingers can reach.
See,
there you go. You learn something every day here, guys.
No.
And I'm a ginger too, so like a left-handed ginger. Which is like,
I mean, hey, let's go.
Yeah, it's about persecuted.
So
Eric Hartman's favorite.
Yeah, right. All right. So, going back to what 2025 looks for Old Line, your standard. I mean, will we see a port finish coming out at the 100 proof? Like, I mean, your core. It seems like those. I mean, we've had the Sauternes was really nice. Like, what else do you see coming out at this sort of like the sherry? Is there?
I know people like the maple. It was a big one.
The maple was great. We don't have any more of that right now.
Okay.
So as far as for the rest of 2025, there's the two I mentioned for the spring. We'll be doing some sort of rum release in the summer. It's TBD exactly what that is. And then the big one in the fall is going to be the Harvest Moon, if you remember that one.
Yes.
Yep, that's a great one.
And that was Chef's Kiss right there.
Yeah, that's really good.
Did it sell well?
That was
Did
amazing.
it sell well?
Sold out real fast. Yeah.
That was absolutely glorious.
Because it had the Amburana, but it was also finished in what else? It was it wasn't just Amburana. Oloroso.
It was sherry and Amburana.
Well done with that, because listen, 3 years ago I was an Amburana whore, and it all tasted like a Cinnabon in a glass, and I loved it for about the first 3 or 4. And they're all starting to taste the same, and it's kind of the same flavor. And it was over dry. Everything was overly done on Amburana. It was very, very hot. What I loved about your Harvest Moon is that other finish kind of cut through a little bit of that. You still tasted the cinnamon and that Cinnabon.
Well, it was flat. It didn't spend too much time, which was important.
It tasted like fall in a glass, which was fantastic for when you put it out. And I'm glad it was well. I don't think a lot of our viewers probably tried it or had it.
Frank tells right here.
Oh, there you go.
Was killer.
There it is.
It was really good.
If you're local, you probably got it. But that's great. That's great to hear.
No, we're excited, and whether it's going to be exact, it'll be some different blend, right? But how it's our second one, right? So how do we keep it very, very close to the same profile, or kind of push boundaries a little bit? And I think we'll probably do a little bit of the latter of just keep most likely I think Amburana will be in there because like you said, it's been kind of done so aggressively because it's hard not to be aggressive with that. So we did such a light touch and then just blended it with the sherry. So I think that'll probably be a feature of it. But it'll be a different, each year we want it to be different and exciting and something new. So
I like what Whiskey Habit's saying. Actually, I think Old Line's going to blow up as single. Yeah. So the great news was that this year, finally, American Single Malt is a registered category of whiskey.
Category. Yep.
Which is great because we've been drinking it for all these years. And I think you among some others are, I think, the forefront of this genre of whiskey.
We've been saying that for well over a year and a half now, that there's about 5 distilleries doing American Single Malts right that are on the cusp of when that wave finally crashes. I think it's just going to blow up, and look, very well deserved. What you guys are doing is absolutely fantastic. You guys are funny as hell as a team. You and Arch. I know Arch could be the same, but you guys are. Arch is. I would like to say Arch is a little bit more like you and.
But wrong. Well, maybe he is actually. In a lot of ways,
you
he probably
haven't drank
is.
enough with Arch. Arch is.
He probably
Arch is charming and witty. There's nothing like so. Like, you're right. Maybe he's not
funny. No, but what I was saying though is, I think the great thing about what Old Line is doing is, as it becomes a category, we had so many of our patrons and viewers who were like, I've never had an American Single Malt. I don't know. I'm scared of it. I don't want it. I don't know if I like it. And we said, all right, well, how can we do? So we brought 25 of our patrons to try it, right? And say, okay, if you've never, and a lot of people there that they had never had an American single malt. So it was their first, when they were picking our single barrel, it was their first opportunity to try something that tasted like this. And everyone was eventually really, committed to it once they tasted it. And then we, took it to the greater group. And again, people who had never had American single malts took a whim on it. Like, I wish I would have bought more. It was that good.
But let's be honest about something. What's cool about what you guys are doing is the restrictions are a little different for the American single malt. Because you know what? If people have this idea of what it's supposed to taste like in their head, it's going to have more of a Scotch type feel, or it's going to be too light. It's probably going to be down the low proof points. You guys are taking all the myths of what it should quote unquote taste like, and you're throwing it out the window. The same thing with the rum. You guys are taking things and you're kind of breaking the conceptions that people have about it. And I think that's why you guys are the forefront of this wave that's crashing, because you're taking things that people are like, I don't know if I'm going to like it, or I've had a bad experience with it. They try, they're like, holy shit, that's amazing. And that's why I think it's really cool what's going on right now.
Look at Devin's comment.
So, and such any other. So you got, see, and that's what I mean. There is one more bottle.
He lives in California or Oregon or off the West Coast. He can't get, Big Thirst, actually, he can get it. Actually, he can get big, so he can get Old Line. But he had never even tried it until he's a Patreon member and had our single barrel. And now it's.
Well, there's one more bottle. We went from 7 to 8.
7?
Yeah, because Jay's giving his back a lefty and a ginger. How do I return the booze? So he is. That's from JG.
Well, let me see. Where are we? Let's see where we're at. Let's see where we're at. While you talk.
Let's see where we're at there. By the way, Jay's a good guy there.
From Iowa.
From Iowa fans.
Who would have thought?
But yeah, no, I mean, honestly, Mark, congrats again on everything you guys are doing, because it's just.
Oh, thank you.
You guys are blowing up.
It's a fun place to be. It's still a tough category, right? Like, to your point, a lot of people still don't know what to expect. But there's a lot of good, there's some good brands doing some great things, and we're excited to be here. It's as much as we love bourbon, that whole thing has happened and it's still going on, right? There was that whole boom, and we've just been plodding away in the background, and I think our time's coming. So we're just. I
think so. Well, that's the other thing. In a crowded market where all the craft distilleries are starting to catch up in the bourbon world, it's nice to have something different when people don't want to go out and find the next new bourbon, because there's only so many different finishes you can do with bourbon. There's only so many different proof points you can do with bourbon. I mean, it's hard to stand out in a crowd now. And all of a sudden, here's this little unknown category where a lot of people aren't doing it. And if they are, they're not doing it well. And here comes Old Line. And I think that's cool. And I think that's another one of the reasons why you guys are going to blow up.
Yeah, and Jonathan speaks to that when we talked about having our Patreon takeover. We had never done anything like that, but we thought, let's do it in Baltimore, our hometown. I don't think a lot of people have experienced Old Line. And Jonathan, he came from Massachusetts. Yep. It was smart to bring a large group together for the pick. Not only did we pick a perfect barrel, it was that everyone had got this experience Old Line. So that was the great thing about that we had 25 of our patrons then go out to other patrons and say, yeah, this is some, you need to, don't worry about it being an American single malt.
Don't sleep on it. It's good.
Well, your misconceptions about what American single malt is, this is not what you think American single malt might be, or you've tasted before. And that was the great thing. We broke through that wall. We've had other groups say we don't do American single malts because they don't sell. Well, we sold one. And I can't wait to do another one because it's great whiskey that more people should try. So I'm glad that we're doing a rum too. And Big Vic's doing a rum, and Drifting Drams. And I think there's a bunch of groups that are in that. Unfortunately, it's a small yield, but there's more rum and there'll be more picks. So that's great.
Thanks, guys.
And then, of course, this is another good point. Yeah. Westward and Stranahan were the first single malts I had. And now Old Line is my favorite.
Yeah, I got.
I'm in that category too.
Westward was
I
my
enjoyed
favorite.
Stranahan's. Westward really kind of turned me on to it.
Well, you did, right?
Yeah.
Remember Malt Chocolate?
Malt Chocolate from, you may know the guys at Barrel Nation was absolutely fantastic. And I had never had anything like it until
you tried to trick me on that one.
I did,
because I said I don't like American single malts.
He says he doesn't like everything. He's like Mikey, like the
and
cereal.
And he blinded. I'm like, well, this tasted like a chocolate malt ball. I love this. What is this? It's a single malt.
I'm going to tell you something. So this is why Todd needs someone to help him with certain things. I call him today. I got to go to the grocery store. Why? Because I got to get some food for the week. What are you getting? I hear him at the counter. Can I get the Food Lion American cheese? Is like, the American cheese. There's so many good cheeses out there. You're getting the American cheese. I'll bet you get the Wonder White bread too. Yes, he gets the Wonder White bread.
Way to get that
and then some bologna and stuff like that.
I do like
he's so vanilla, and I have to you got to try new things, Todd. You've got to step outside your comfort zone a little bit, and he's doing a good job. He started to drink refined and good stuff. He still equates it all to like sugary cereal, but he's doing better. He really is. You got to give you props, buddy.
Yeah. Shoot me down and build me back up, right, Andy? That's that how this works? Is that how that works? I think that's what it is. Let me see here. There's a couple of questions. I'm trying to get up. I can't even get to it. Oh, crap. Will there be a canned cocktail with an Old Line product and a Coke Zero? No, there will not. I can guarantee you that. Question from Whiskey Uncensored Bourbon, who came to it and helped us pick that beautiful American single malt for our patrons. Here's an interesting question for Old Line. Have you tried Clearmount Steep?
It's the Beam. It's the Beam one.
Okay, and if he has, what did Beam do horribly wrong with it?
So I have tried it, and I agree. It isn't my favorite thing in the world. And I don't know necessarily. To me, as I remember, it's been a while, but it was a bit bitter. I'm not sure if that's what you experienced as well. And if that is, my memory is correct. See you, James.
Cheers,
it is, when you make a malt, sometimes if the husks, when you do a, grain on fermentation and distillation, which is what we do it very much the way, bourbons do. Whereas in Scotland, they'll do a lautering, which is they'll take the grains will kind of be intact more, and then they'll filter the grains out, and then the liquid goes through the rest of the process. And the reason is that if done a certain way, the husks can cause some sort of tannicky bitterness to go through. We've been able to avoid that. So we get the nice higher yields from doing grain on, just like a bourbon. And we don't get that bitterness. And I think my assumption from what I tasted might be that they did things exactly the way they do bourbon, and they didn't factor in that the grains were different, and they might have got some bitterness that they weren't counting on. That's from my recollection of tasting it 2 years ago and kind of armchair distilling. But it wasn't my favorite thing in the world, and that was a tough thing too, because I was excited for it to come out because I wanted it to be good. I want it to be good for the category. People reach and they try Claremont Steep and they really like it. They're more willing to reach for other American single malts. And
you talking about husks, like corn husks?
Well, the husk of the malt
on the barley.
Malt. The barley.
Oh,
when we're brewing, you know what we're talking about.
No,
you crush the grain.
I thought he was talking about corn.
No.
Ready?
Oh, God.
Tom, what you think?
I love corn. So good.
That's perfect.
How old is this corn?
We need no other takes. That's absolutely. That's a big bite.
Fuck this guy. That was like 2-week-old corn in my mouth.
How old is this corn?
Oh, God. Todd isn't married. Thank you, Joe. Terry Powers, great Patreon member, new to Old Line, but feels like old friends. That's great. Terry, awesome. I love that. I love that, like, our group and like other groups are now recognizing Old Line, and like I think Old Line is a hidden gem, and like people in Baltimore, Maryland area know how great you are. I love that we're able to like show people in Oregon and California and all across this country how great you guys are, and that's the great thing about Whiskey Tube, and that's awesome. I love it.
You guys are too good to us, and we're very grateful. You guys are a class.
You're in our backyard, man. Mark, what would your favorite rum cocktail be? That's a good question.
Please say Flacco's Fuel.
Did you not say that?
Because that was
first of all, he's from Boston, so it'd be something with Tom Brady.
Well, I'm just saying that was at our event. It was done with rum. It wasn't done with the American single malt. So I think it's Flacco's Fuel.
That's true.
This is gonna probably a hack way to answer it, but I didn't think I liked a pina colada. I would I would let I don't want that until because I would think of the ones like you get on Bourbon Street with a massive hangover the next morning and all that. And a neighbor made me one a couple of years ago, and I was blown away. I could drink that all summer. But as far as a real cocktail where you're really going to kind of taste the rum, for our stuff, I actually like a rum old fashioned. I just use a very, very small amount of simple syrup because it's already coming.
Yeah, rum old fashioned. That's good. A rum old fashioned. Okay.
Yeah, just be careful in the simple because you can definitely get it to where it gets really, really sweet if you use the same amount you would use for for whiskey. But I'm a cocktail simpleton. I kind of keep to the very, very basic cocktails usually. So yeah.
You're a simpleton too.
No, I'm not.
Can I have something to drink?
Yeah, sure.
He's mad at me.
I am.
Don't get mad at me. Poor Todd. I'm sorry.
I have nothing for you.
There's no sodas or anything in there?
There's no sodas in there. Sorry.
What about you have a couple slices of American cheese?
Real quick, Whiskey on set, Bourbon said, my tasting notes on the Claremont was Resolve Carpet Cleaner. Well, that's not good. And then Giselle's Claremont is, oh no. Oh, that's not good. All right. I've not had that. I never will. So there you go. All right, Andy, I'll start loading the names. You want to give what the giveaway? Guys, we have 7 left on Big Thirst. And so, we can try to sell them. If not, we're hopefully selling them in the next couple of days. I think it's been a huge success. I can't wait for people to get them. Maybe we'll do another
6 more for local pickup too.
So local pick. So there's 2 different lots here. There's 6 local and 7 for, we kind of split them up accordingly based on who we think were there. So we actually, Mark, we did pretty good with that.
It's even, it's perfect. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we did pretty good with that. So there's actually 13 left, it looks like. So there you go. We'll get those sold hopefully in the next day or 2. There's Slapshot back from Florida. Slapshot, did you get this rum? I saw you got that George T. Stagg. Cost you a pretty penny. This will cost you $45. And it's
the consummate.
Not a George T. Stagg, but it's for the price. I'm telling you, 131 proof. I mean, come on now.
Oh, and not to shamelessly plug it, but there are actually a couple of bottles left of the whiskey pick on Big Thirst.
All right, so there you go.
On our side too.
Yeah, we gotta probably So if you didn't get the malt through the night, there are a few on there.
The breakage bottles are left, I think. So there's a couple on there that we found out
so
today.
Search for that. Oh, although Mark, you got to hold 2 for us. Can you do that quickly?
Can do. Yeah.
We need to have, because this is my last one.
Got it.
So we'll buy them. But
what he meant to say is, I'm going to text you something.
Yes.
Not on the chat, Mark.
Yes.
But
all right, real quick, couple of other questions.
Tommy,
Andy,
no filter.
Andy,
over
get
here.
the questions while I start loading the wheel. We're giving away a signed bottle of the brand new 2025 Old Line Sherry Cask Finish, signed by both Mark and Arch, owners, founders of Old Line, and then also a Case 1 rum, not our pick, but a rum, equally as good, also signed. We have 2 giveaways tonight. Every $5 super chat goes into that, and we'll give that away. And of course, our single barrel pick, our rum guns, is down to 13 total, 6 here and 7 for shipping. So let's go. All right, Andy, go ahead. Sorry.
What would you like me to talk about now, Todd?
Just the chat. I'm going to load the wheel up, and we'll get going here.
You have anything else to say?
I don't know.
Can we talk about what else you bought at Food Line today?
I bought some Cheetos. You probably want them later on.
Standard Lay's.
No, these are good. The good kind. The good kind. Well, Lays are good. No, Lays aren't
it's
good.
Funny, Mark.
Utz
Is watching you and Arch together is very much like this. The 2 of them are absolutely hysterical.
Yeah. Are we hysterical?
No, I think we annoy a lot of people.
Maybe.
I think
10,000 people say we're annoying.
That's why it took us 7 years to get
That's
there.
true. That is true. We grinded them out, right? We just outlasted
Match
people.
Jury started a channel last fall. They got 90,000. It took us whatever. But it's fine.
It's all good. It's all good.
Oh, Joe is determined to give you a hard time about the Red Sox finishing in last place this year. So,
we had a good run, and it's been a couple of years, and we'll be back. I died. I thought I would die without seeing a World Series win. So once 2004 hit, my life's complete.
Well,
that's true.
And then we had 4 more, so no big deal.
Well, when we were 8. We thought we'd see another World Series at some point in our lives.
And here's 40 years later, we still haven't seen one.
I mean, it's just, holy hell. I mean, So we've become the new Red Sox, I suppose.
No, I guess so. It's been 40 some years. Jeez Louise.
Yeah, that's kind of painful.
Possible?
Did you have a dog in the fight with the Chiefs and Eagles? Did you care?
I mean, I was Eagles just because, why not?
Right. Come on.
Yeah. So I was pulling for him, but I wanted to see a better game. That's what I really wanted.
Yeah, that game sucked.
You know what, though? I'm kind of glad because I'll just say this. It's like the 3rd play of the game, that garbage pass interference calls, like, here it goes. They're throwing the game again. I started to get a little upset. I'm not a Philly fan by any stretch of the imagination.
No.
Someone asked me who you want to win. I said, like, that's asking me if I'd rather put onions or mushrooms in my cereal. Like, it's just not going to work.
I like that, Andy.
But
Onions.
that point, I still wanted. I still wanted.
Agreed.
Well, yeah, I'd probably do the onions too because I can't stand mushrooms. Mushrooms were the Chiefs, and so I was happy to see them get their tail kicked because I almost felt like they had to win by 2 or 3 touchdowns to make sure that they actually won because if it stayed close, I didn't know what kind of yellow flag was coming out the wrong
very true,
time.
Andy.
So
if the only way that the Eagles would lose if it was close. If it's close, they're done. They are done. So I'm glad it was.
Eagles' defensive line was everywhere. It was amazing.
Yeah,
I mean, it's with the front four, just the front four. They didn't blitz one time. There's been, I think I saw the stat. There's been 5 teams or 4 teams that have gone to a Super Bowl and not blitzed 0 times. All 5 of them have won. If you can get pressure with your front four, it's over. It's over.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's what they did.
Oh, by the way, Kathy, happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you.
Sing it, Todd.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Kathy. I'm sorry you married Joe. Happy birthday.
Oh, there she is.
You.
Happy birthday, Kathy.
There you go, Kathy. She's the best.
Do you remember when you asked her to prom and she said no?
I think you've said it so much, I'm starting to believe that she did say no, but she was a year older than us and way cooler. There's no way we would ever ask her to prom.
You just saw Kathy. She's a beautiful person.
I know that.
And then this is who asked you to prom. So
that's my sophomore. I don't know. That's not my senior pick, but that's close.
He's probably got some crumbs from his Wonder Bread sandwich with the bologna hanging out.
Bologna American cheese.
American cheese.
And my wife.
Hey, you want to ride bikes after school?
Shut up, Andy. We rode bikes together. You dummy. You were the one asking me that. You said yes.
I'm sorry. I don't know what's going on tonight.
You said yes.
I'm off.
Yeah, you're on right now.
Oh, my goodness.
That's great. All right, I'm still loading the wheel, guys.
Yes, lots of happy birthdays to you, Kathy.
There you go. Joe's got a birthday coming up soon, too, doesn't he?
Are you going to take Joe unsubscribed?
Joe unsubscribed.
I've unsubscribed.
That's funny.
That's so funny.
All right, hold on.
Tater tots in his pocket. Yep, that was
not me. Get off my tots,
Tina. Eat your food.
Eat your food, Tina. That's my wife's name, which is funny.
This night keeps getting better.
It does. I'm still loading it, guys. You've been very.
No, they're playing for it. So hey, you know what, Mark? Would you mind if I teased something? Non-old line related. Would that be okay?
You're down your dance floor, man.
What are you teasing?
Since we had such a good day with this, I wanted to. I wanted to tease something that I think you might like this too, Mark. But this is coming to 21090 very, very, very soon.
What you guys are all waiting for?
Oh, Jesus.
Tonight on our live stream, our members only giveaway is something very special.
I can give you what you want, but you got to come home to me. I've got some good old loving and I got some more in store. When I get through throwing,
we are giving away our top whiskey.
Hey, let me light your candles.
I'm so great song.
The Old Crow Double Barrel 47. Absolutely amazing bourbons that you can't find easily that Andy has.
I love that.
Cheers, I'm at the beach.
Oh God, Shut up, Todd. Shut up.
We're at the beach.
2020 Todd needs to shut up.
2020 Todd helped make this channel.
Oh, whatever 2022.
That likes you better when you didn't know what you were talking about.
I obviously didn't, but that was a while ago. You've ever heard of Glenn's? Probably not, Mark. Glenn's Creek is a hidden gem in Frankfort, Kentucky. It is on the site of the old Crow distillery that's no longer there. They took over the portion of it. Andy, yeah, you were there.
They took over it's part of it's completely dilapidated.
Yes.
So there's a part that's still salvageable, and so I got a chance to visit out there, and
the cool thing is one of the fermenters still had active yeast in it that wasn't like infected, and they were able to repurpose the yeast
underground. So they used,
and that's why it's called OCD for Old Crow Distillery. That's one of their strains of yeast they use in their bourbons.
Oh shit, that's
from
awesome.
Old Crow.
Yeah,
how cool is that? And we got a single barrel. So we'll have to bring you. It's really nice.
You'll like it. It's fun. It's really
it's like if you like smoky barbecue-ish type of flavor profiles.
It would go great with like a bologna and cheese.
Shut up. God. Wait, what did I do? What is Corey saying? Why? No, I see. Yeah. February is the worst month of the year. Kathy's birthday. Valentine's Day. Apple Trout. No.
Husband of the year.
Oh, I knew it. Oh,
she is a lucky gal.
Hold line. Yeah,
I didn't even know what I just heard about this when he said something. So Vince Neil had a plane crash.
Well, his private jet that he owns didn't crash. It ran into another jet, and the he wasn't on it. Two other people were. I think the pilot died.
Oh my God.
That's on the ground. Like somehow, I don't know how that happens.
Newsflash: any vehicle Vince Neil drives or owns, probably stay away from it.
So
he killed the drummer from Hanoi Rocks too.
You know what I was watching last night, real quick, is a documentary on Alice in Chains. They started out as a glam band.
So did Pantera.
Lane Staley was full glam, and they were called Sleaze.
That's awesome.
And then they changed the Alice in Chains somehow. And they opened up for like Van Halen in 1990. They were still like, and they were, Alice in Chains didn't get the credit they deserved because when they came out, they were an amazing rock band.
They're really good. That Facelift is one of the best albums.
And Dirt too.
Dirt's great, but and I still think their acoustic album is one of the best albums of all time.
I don't know why I just thought that. But we need to do like an Alice in Chains night or something because
we're one of the few grunge. They're not even really grunge. They're rock. I think they got lumped in with grunge, but they have
footage of them watching Van Halen with David Lee Roth and Sammy Hagar like do sound check, and Jerry Cantrell's like sitting there like listening to David Lee Roth and just like
that was.
And Jerry Cantrell is amazing guitar player.
They didn't make it through because halfway through they had to replace them because they were so looped out. Lindsay was so looped out they had to replace.
Not 1991.
Yes,
that's early. Oh, really? Yeah. This was all. I don't know. He was in this video.
Canceled. Yeah. Oh. So they were.
He died in like 2002, though.
He didn't die at that point, but they were kicked off the tour because their drug use was so bad.
Footage. Yeah. All right. Dovetail. Sorry.
This is what we do.
All right. Let's bring up the wheel. Let's give away some old line. Mark, amazing job. Let's hopefully
pull that puppy up.
We'll get this sold out in the next few days with our patrons.
Not much left.
Thank you for everything you do, and thank you for letting us like come in and pick these amazing barrels. I know our patrons love what you guys do, and we're so happy that we can bring it to you.
You hate Red Hot Chili Peppers.
What?
It says Todd knows so much about these, but you hate Red Hot Chili Peppers, so I can't make sense of it all.
Why did I hate Red Hot? You hate Red Hot Chili Peppers?
I don't hate them.
When did I say I hated Red Hot Chili Peppers?
I'm lukewarm on them. So their stuff is fun.
Mark hates them.
Yeah.
Andy, you really hate them too. Yeah. You actually do hate them.
No, they have a couple songs that are okay. They're also very annoying. They can be hot and cold. They're kind of like you. Sometimes I like you. Sometimes I don't. You're kind of like a chili pepper.
By the way, somebody mentioned Mark's cool vest. Color. How do we get an old line vest like that?
Was that Lou? I think.
Where is that? Where is it? Yes.
You know, we the short answer is I don't know if we're going to have them. These things cost us a ton of money. So we'd have to sell them for some crazy amount to even make it break even. I think it was like $90 for us to buy them. So kind of feel a little bit hesitant to put them on the shelf, even for like $100. It just kind of has a bad look to it. Like, I don't know.
Do you have hoodies? Old line hoodies? Do you have old line hoodies?
We did. We need to get more. We're going to get a better design. We've had them.
I need an old line. Yeah, I'd like just that old line. I want an old line hoodie that I can wear on channel.
Mark, I noticed a lot of your merch. There's a plethora of smalls, mediums, and schmediums. we're gonna have to change that a little bit.
Well, we have a certain image that we want from our customers wearing our shirt, Andy.
You're not it, Andy. You're not it.
Felt.
You're not a schmedium, Andy. Yeah, no doubt about it. All right, very good. Jerry Crandrell was wicked. Yeah, like amazing guitar player. Like we don't talk about how good he was as a guitar. He still is, and they're still playing with a new singer, but. The band's still together, although the original bass player, also tragically passed away.
Yeah, it was grunge. Unfortunately, there was something going on with the grunge artists because just all the big ones, most of the lead singers, with the exception of Eddie Vedder, passed away. It's kind of crazy how that genre.
Let me bring up this wheel. Let's give away stuff, guys. Next week we will have on another guest, Clinton from Short Barrel. So we will have Short Barrel on. That's going to be fun too because I've gotten into them recently. Andy, you've been drinking some of their stuff. Yep. We like what they're doing.
We're excited to have them on.
Yeah, next week, Short Barrel. All right, Andy, can you bring that up? Can you?
Sure can, Barry.
I will shuffle it. So the first, if you're still here, you get to pick.
Yeah, you get your choice between the Old Line Sherry Finished Single Malt.
All right.
Or the Case One rum, both autographed by the boys themselves.
Love it.
Hey, who's this blonde in your corner? Your wife's not gonna like this. What's going on?
I don't know, dude. It's an ad.
Oh,
skip ad, whatever that means. All right, here we go. Let's see who wins the first, and he has their choice of Old Line.
And the winner is it Groovy or William? It's
William Hall.
All right.
Is William still around? Is he still in the chat? Well done, William.
Calling Will I am if you're there.
All right. Well, that's the first winner. There is another one.
Yes. And so if by chance William isn't in the chat,
we'll reach out to him and say which one you want.
Or you let the other person pick and we'll give William the other one.
William is here. He's just right there.
He is. Oh, yes, he is. There you go. What would you like, good sir?
Would you like the sherry signed?
Rum, please. Look at that. It's a rum kind of night.
Yeah, buddy. I like it. So he's taking that rum. I love it. 114 proof Case One rum. Beautiful.
Roll again, little fellow.
All right. Second winner for the sherry. Just 2025 sherry.
Should have been gone.
Let's see who wins that.
The winner is it Frank? Is it Eric? Sandwiched in between two
It's
Franks?
Frank Miller.
No, it's Frank.
Frank Miller. Local. That's good. I can deliver it to him in person. Because ship it.
Frank needs his 728th bottle
that is true.
of Old Line. Hey, good for you, buddy.
He wins.
Good
he
for
wins.
You. That's awesome. You know what? You got to pay to play. Rock and roll there. Good job, man. That's awesome.
All right, Mark. As always, a pleasure.
Oh, my pleasure, guys. Thank you so much. You guys are too good, and love being on with you guys. So anytime, we'll be here.
And
we love you.
Let's do it again. Maybe we'll have another event at Old Line this summer and bring some people together to sip on some good Old Line whiskey and who knows what.
I'd love to.
You guys say when we're there.
Stick around the bottom for a couple seconds there, Mark. We'll chat with you offline. To the rest of y'all, we love you. Thank you. 10,000 subscribers. We appreciate you guys. That's
Go
awesome.
Grab it. A few left. If you're a Patreon member,
grab
them, man.
Because John Bon Jovi would drink this. It's that freaking good.
31 proof. By the way, you have to drive home in the snow. Better cut you off.
I'll see you guys next week.
See you guys next week. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers. Rock on.
Good song.